Thank you again for being here. We appreciate all your attendance today. And as we kick off our celebration here this morning, I do want to make a special thank you out to all of our Business Advisory Council members that are in the room today. If you are a member of Business Advisory, would you please stand to be recognized? Obviously, we can't do what we do with career technical education and career experiential learning components without our Business Advisory Council members. So we appreciate all of your work that you've done this year. I know Dr. Glaven's going to be highlighting some of that here shortly as well. But I did want to give a personal thank you to each and every one of you that has been part of that process here this year. I'm finishing up my second year here as superintendent. I think this is one of my favorite awards ceremonies, as I mentioned earlier, because we get to recognize and celebrate those great partnerships that we have here at Mentor Schools. We have an unbelievable community here, a lot of individuals that just want to give back to the community, that want to engage with our students in whatever capacity it is, and really do things that are going to develop those skills that our workforce is going to need to make Mentor and Lake County successful. As we get into our program here today, I'm going to turn it over to Joe Glaven. He's going to talk through a little bit more about the programs themselves, but I did want to put in a little plug here for our strategic planning process also. We just started the process here probably 3 weeks ago. We had a couple of Discovery Day visits where we had our outside facilitators come in from the Learner-Centered Collaborative. And they spent a couple of days just going around the district, talking to students, talking to teachers, administrators. We had a group of business and community partners. We had a community forum. We had student focus groups where we asked some very targeted questions to those students and just trying to dream big. What is that next thing that we need in the education world to really have our students set apart from all of the others? And we're in that process now. We've had a Guiding Coalition meeting as well where we've started to take some of that data that we collected during those Discovery Days. We're taking some of the data that we got from our surveys through Learner-Centered Collaborative. And then we're also finishing off our community survey here, which is currently posted on the website, I believe, Kristen? Yes. So we want that valuable feedback to bring the data to us so that we know what our next steps need to be. What's going to guide us in the direction here for the next 3 to 5 years so that we can create experiences that you need here in the community that we can start to develop out of our kids. We will be hopefully completing that process here through the month of June with the hopefully being able to present this to our board here at our July meeting so that we can kick off next school year with a set of goals and action steps that's really going to guide the district. Career technical education, business partnerships, community engagement is going to be the lifeblood of what that strategic plan is all about. That's what we're here for. We're trying to generate what our students need to learn, some of those skills, some of those aptitudes, some of the work ethic pieces to make sure that they're able to enter the workforce and be successful. And that's what this partnership here with all of you is all about. I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Glaven, our Director of Workforce Development. Does a lot of work here, obviously, for Mentor Schools, but also with Lakeland Community College. And he's going to lead us through the rest of our program here today. Dr. Glaven.
All right. Okay, so we had to check the thing. I'm like, I know I'm really loud, so if we have a microphone too, we had to check it. So hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Joe Glaven, and I appreciate the opportunity this morning to share with you some of the exciting educational initiatives that are happening in Mentor Schools, thanks to the because of the incredible support of our community. Now, I'll start off with this was just a funny side note. So last night I'm getting my 3 boys ready for bed, and my youngest, 4-year-old Ethan, we're talking, and he's like, I'm like, I gotta write the speech. It's tomorrow morning. I really gotta work on it. And he's like, Dan, you love talking a lot. This is gonna be like your best day ever. And I'm like, yeah, you know me pretty well. So I think you guys know that as well. Some of the things that, Mr. Venturelli, you might give me my clicker right there? I got like slides going. Now, the other thing, if you guys know me, I only have like 48 slides. So there are pictures, there's some things, we like to tell a story. Now what I want to do is I want to kind of provide to you guys a little bit of an overview. There's kind of 2 parts to our speech. The first one's going to kind of give you an overview of where we are, some of the initiatives we've been working on since our last presentation last year, and then also just kind of tying in a little bit of what that really means for our community. And one of the first things that I do, and I really have started doing this with all of our presentations and working with people, is we kind of start with, I think it's important to start with why. Why is this important? Why are we focusing on this? You know, it's great that we're out here and we're banging the doors on career technical education, career exploration. Why is it important for our community? Why is it important for our students? And I like that always to start off our presentations. And there's a couple things of why it's important. Some of the first ones is looking at, the main thing is we look at our data, and it's graduation rate. So we know that students that participate in a career technical education program have a 98.3% graduation rate, which is extremely good. Now, the other data that we look at, and this is what most people are equally concerned, if not more about, is our post-program placement. We know through our data that 98.2% of students that complete or participate in a career technical education program are either employed, enrolled in college, or enlisted in the military. 98.2%. So using that as our guide, it tells us this matters. We are helping students and families choose the next steps. So that kind of guides what we're doing. Now, with that, we kind of touched base here last year, and I addressed this group and we highlighted both the opportunities and the challenges that we face as a district. We discussed the record high participation in career tech education, where we had a new record of 38% of our juniors and seniors at Mentor High School are participating in some form of career tech education. But we don't just talk about the great things, we got to talk about some of the problems we have too. So we also addressed our problems. We discussed 2 main problems. The first problem was 2 years ago, 6.8% of our incoming juniors were waitlisted for career tech programs. That means they wanted to go into the program, they had an interest in welding, in healthcare, in manufacturing, and we didn't have the capacity to provide them the training they desired, right? So that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 was the bigger problem. That last year, that number jumped to 17% of our students were waitlisted. So we have a community that is in need of new workforce, right? That are looking for skilled positions in healthcare, manufacturing, welding, IT. And we have students that have a desire to go into those fields. But we had a capacity issue of how do we meet those needs? And we had a gap, and that's what we were tasked with, kind of figuring out how do we do that. So what we did is armed with that data, we said, how do we take our problems and turn them into solutions? And so we embarked on a mission this past year of how do we expand opportunities for our students rapidly. You know, a lot of times when we have conversations, I'll discuss, there's always like short-term, middle-term, long-term goals. That's how we look at a lot of our things. What can we do right now? What can we kind of do intermediate? And then what is that long-term strategy? But it's important to us that we address that those current juniors, 17% of them that couldn't get in their programs, we needed to do something for them now. Not 3 years from now when they're graduated and they're doing something else. We had an obligation to fix that. And so looking at that, we figured out how do we come up with solutions. So we collaborated with various stakeholders. We worked with students, parents, staff, and business and industry. We sought solutions to bridge these gaps and offer more avenues to our students. not years down the road, but right now. Now, our main goal was, how do we build capacity? How do we quickly build capacity and in a way that's scalable? And so doing that, there's some data on these outcomes. I'm pretty pumped actually to share within this short year some of the things we've already done. Now, in order to address this, it was all hands on deck. So one of our avenues is working with our Business Advisory Council that we have really leaned into heavily to support and guide the direction of some of our career technical education training. Ultimately, we know that industry are the ones that can help guide us in what skills are needed to become employable in these fields. And as we talk about our Business Advisory Council, Craig mentioned, had people stand up. We were actually, because of their efforts helping us this year, they were actually recognized by the state. So the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce, they go ahead and they do honor Business Education Leader Awards. And we were one of only 9 districts in the state of Ohio to receive that award. So that's a real testament to the support we see in Mentor. Now, this isn't a surprise to us in this room, but we have a lot of very passionate community members that are eager to help us when a need arises. So, looking at that, so we have those awards. Now, our collaboration together, the main thing that kind of led out of our collaboration with our BAC was our newly launched Mentor Schools Career Academies. So every one of you guys at your table, you'll have one of these catalogs that discusses the career academies that we designed and created this past school year. And if you look in those catalogs, you'll see kind of the programs we have. There's 8 different new programs that we're offering for our students, not 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Kids are signed up, they're in the seats, they're starting in the fall. And with those academies, they're crafted with partnerships with stakeholders. Through purposeful design and reimagining of current courses, we were able to add all of the options that you see in this catalog at no additional cost for the district. What we did is we said, how can we think differently? How can we reimagine? And so we looked at current courses and said, how can we make sure that they are, for some of these electives, industry-focused, industry-driven, industry-guided, to ensure that we're preparing our kids with the skills for those opportunities. Now, it's always funny how we say Field of Dreams. Akin to Field of Dreams, we built it, and the students signed up. So we are now scheduled to run multiple sections of each of these academies for the fall of next year. So we kind of, when you design stuff, you hope that people, you think that they're going to like it, they tell you they're going to like it, and then it's like, do they like it? They do. They signed up. So we are at capacity. We are as many as we can offer, which is wonderful. And what this does is decrease wait lists and provide students with the opportunities they are requesting. Now, in addition to that, the state of Ohio equally recognized our initiative. And about 2 months ago in March, we were awarded $2.2 million in a grant from the state, which is going to allow us to update and renovate many of the spaces in Mentor High School. And it's where these academies are focused. So in addition to renovations of culinary, construction, aviation, and digital media, we are also in the process right now of collaborating with Lakeland and working through what one of the best IT and cybersecurity labs we hope to build in Northeast Ohio. That'll be located at Mentor High. And again, preparing students today for the jobs of tomorrow. And yes, I always add in this, Mike DeWine is the one person I am taller than. So, I got to hang my hat on something. I'm just going to let that picture speak for itself. So now the results. So we talked about the problem. We talked about how do we come up with the solution. And we talked about how we kind of implemented that. So what are the results of that? And so we have, in 1 year, less than 12 months, we have gone from 38% participation with 17% of our students on a wait list with that exact same cohort of students, we have now filled that gap. We've addressed it. And we next year are slated to tentatively have 58% of our seniors will be participating in some form of career tech education. We clap. Yeah, I calculated the numbers the other day and it blew my mind. So we're really excited for that. Now the thing is this: everybody knows me. Workforce education, career tech education. Everybody, Joe's running through brick walls for this stuff. But what about everything else? Are things going to be impacted by this negatively? What about a college path? What about AP? What about honors? How are these other things, the rigor, how are these things being impacted? And sometimes there is a thought that it would be negatively impacted. And that's where things kind of get exciting. They get exciting. Because the truth is, we believe at Mentor that all of those are intertwined. And that we're proud to share that not only are our career tech education programs slated to increase in enrollment, but our CCP, honors, and college credit plus classes are all also increasing in enrollment. So when you think about that, what does that mean? We are setting higher standards at Mentor, and our students are stepping up to meet them. We firmly believe that a rising tide lifts all boats, and these changes are elevating all facets of our students' experiences at Mentor schools. And it's extremely humbling to see our students meet those opportunities and see that increase. Now, that's kind of my spiel with the numbers, which are great. Everybody likes data. It's fantastic to have it. And while these numbers are impressive, and data is one aspect of information that helps inform the decisions that we make, the real success of Mentor schools lies in its individuals. Our personal and professional lives often intertwine. And I view this not as a negative, but rather a testament to the impact we're making in our community. And I'd like to kind of pivot a little bit here to kind of focus a little bit on the people in this room. And I'd like you to allow me to share a personal story that resonates deeply with me and I believe reflects the spirit of many in this room. So this right here, this is my son Joshua. He is a 5th grade student at Ridge Elementary School. If you're looking at the picture right there, that's a drawing. If you came in, there's the Welcome to Mentor sign we have out front. If you notice at the Matchwork building, the windows look fantastic. Those were his doing, so fantastic. Now, earlier this year, my son Joshua, he was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disorder. And as a parent of 2 educators, he loves learning. And having to miss several weeks of school due to his condition was particularly challenging. And over that time, we spent a lot of time together. I was out of school a lot, my wife was out of work a lot. And we were able to connect, in a much deeper way with him. And one moment during this time stands out to me. So, sharing our love of reading, we would often go to Barnes & Noble in Mentor, over on Mentor Avenue. I would get a coffee, he would get a cookie, we'd each get a book, we would sit. It's about as good as my life gets for me. That's it. And during one of those trips, he expressed his frustration at the unfairness of the situation. And as like an 11-year-old would say, he looked at me and he just said, Dad, this just doesn't seem fair that this is happening to me. And I don't like this. And as a father, what do you say to a child who's having some bad, breaks, right? Going through some challenges, just like we all do. And what happened for some reason was I kind of got an idea. It came to me, one of the books that I've had in the past. And so what I did is I went and I actually grabbed a book, walked it over to him and handed him a book. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but it's called The Coffee Bean. Now, just by a show of hands, how many people here, raise your hand if you're familiar with the book The Coffee Bean? This is fantastic. Then you guys are in for a treat. So, for those unfamiliar, the coffee bean is a simple yet profound fable about resilience. It illustrates the transformative power we possess in shaping our environment. And in the story, the fable, a boiling pot of water represents life's challenges. And in that story, 3 items are placed in the boiling water. The items that are placed in is it's a carrot, an egg, and a coffee bean. And so when they talk about placing those things in that pot of boiling water that represents our lives, our challenges, the first one placed in is the carrot. And so when you place that carrot in, what do you think happens to that carrot? Softens. I don't know if anybody's boiling carrots, but if you do, it'll soften. It goes from being tough, and it can break under the pressure, right? Now, the next one is the egg. So if you take an egg and you put it in boiling water, what happens? Hardens. It does, exactly. So, similar to life, when things get tough, it's easy to be like the egg. Grow resentful, angry, shield yourself from others, harden. But then the last one is the coffee bean. And so what happens when you put a coffee bean in water? Yeah, it makes coffee. So the coffee bean transforms the water into something entirely different. You know, and so as I spoke with my son, life can be tough. Like boiling water and the environments we encounter, they can either weaken us, harden us, or like the coffee bean, we have the ability to change our surroundings positively. And so after reading the book, Josh and we discussed the concept. And he talked about how he could choose how to respond to adversity, focusing on transforming his environment rather than succumbing to it. Now, while this story focuses on my son, I immediately drew the connect, like the night we did it, I walked out and I was like, man, there are so many parallels to the people in this room, to many of you that I deal with on a daily basis, that we all collaborate with, who are actively shaping their surroundings from within. So some of the people I think of is I think of Raquel Ingram, our allied health instructor. That was during our event for our preschool kids, learning about health careers. I think about Melinda O'Connor, and just so you know, that is not her baby, that is one of her former students, who's now an IT professional at Lubrizol, who came in to speak to our students, and so she watched his daughter as he presented. I think of our Batman and Robin, Marisa Minacchio and Shannon, who run our early childhood education program. I think of Matt Colbus, our manufacturing instructor. Awesome picture there. It's a Swage Lock. They were doing their hirings last year. Some of our students that continue on with them. I think of Drew McKnight and Lauren Tuziant in our marketing and business administration program. That was one of our presidential scholars last year that we had. I think of Alec Byron, who's in the back with our boys from Libra and the BattleBots competition that they have, that we were runners up this year. It was fantastic. And the change that they are making. I think of people like Jim Capel, Mike Glodowski, Greg Sanders, who were determined that, I'll be honest, the housing market, it is tough for a school to flip a house at this time. Determined that, while that may be tough, we can still find amazing projects that are transformative for our students. Like the example of renovating the deck at Moreland Mansion. I think of Jim Hawk, Tom Bowen, Bob Wilrich, and Tony Rosman, who have worked tirelessly to ensure we are training the next generation of workforce in the automotive industry. That picture right there is from yesterday, where because of the support of Classic Auto Group, the Ford Motor Company donated a brand new 2024 Ford Mustang GT to our automotive program. So we had some pretty sweet photos. It was excellent. One of our kids got in it and drove it. It was a little scary, but it actually was startling. But he even told me, he's like this. I actually can't believe they let me turn that on. Like even he understood. I think of Christine Blake and Mario and the rest of the team at Cardinal Credit Union, and how they've worked with our students and those around Northeast Ohio to ensure they are setting a path for financial success. So that's from their Mad City Money competition, where every year Cardinal Credit Union commits over $50,000 to local schools. 10,000 to Mentor, fantastic. But it's great, others, we can all rising tides, guys. I think of people like our EMT Academy and Jerry Craddock and Chief Searles, who knew that we had to find a way to inspire the next generation of public safety employees and help start the Mentor Fire EMT Academy. I think of Chief Gunch, Ken Flipiak, and Craig Heath, working together to help residents one package of food at a time during one of our food markets. Now, I had to share this photo, and so this one's good. This one's better. I literally looked at this photo, and this photo of Craig and Ken, it legit looks like a scene from CSI Miami. Like, I don't know what case they solved, but they looked awesome doing it. Like, it's a sweet photo. I gotta share that with you guys. Take care. I think of our entire Cardinal Works team. That's exactly right. Working hard to provide experiences for our students and believing strongly that every one person has the right to find passion and a sense of satisfaction in their career. That photo it's probably one of my favorite photos that we have. It was from our opening of our Spirit Store last year. So the Spirit Store is completely operated by Cardinal Works, and it's fantastic. I think about Dion Dimitro, Ginny Vaccaro, Mike Vaccarello, a lot of Italians, and the many others who've trucked out to the stadium every month. Just like postal workers. We're in snow, rain, cloudy, cold, to help ensure that we can provide for our community. I think of people like Mike and Pat and Patty Perry, who continue to stay involved with the school district and the community long after their students have graduated. Now, for the people I mentioned and to each of you in this room, I want to thank you because I feel that you embody the spirit of the Coffee Bean and the idea that we can inspire positive change in our community. So that's kind of my speech there. So thank you again for allowing me the opportunity this morning to speak with you. I think those slides were pretty quick. They were photos. It was good. All right, and so now on with that. Now we're going to move on to our presentation for today's special recognitions, which we're really excited to do. So obviously today we will provide our Business Partnership Impact Award to several organizations of the community that exemplify collaboration and generosity with Mentor schools. For our first award winner, we are going to be looking at component repair technologies, and our Mentor High School principal, Jason Crow, is going to come up to speak. So please welcome Mr. Crow.
Well, good morning and thank you for being here today. So our first award winner, we'll be recognizing component repair technology. While a partnership with component repair technology has been strong now for many years, this past year has seen an exceptional surge in collaboration and synergy between our two entities. This surge has been led by the guidance of CRT President Rich Mears, and our partnership has expanded in every facet possible. We believe we are just starting to scratch the surface. Our partnership initially began with a focus on manufacturing, and they played a vital role in training and employing skilled CNC workers. Students like Sam Watkins, currently a CRT CNC operator, whose dedication and expertise exemplifies the spirit of excellence. We're very, very proud of Sam here at our high school. And Sam recently engaged with our middle school students last week through our middle school speaker series, shedding light on careers in manufacturing. This is just another example of our CRT's commitment to nurturing the talent and inspiring future generations. This past year, we witnessed a remarkable escalation in our partnership with increased involvement in our Business Advisory Council, district strategic planning, and new collaboration with Cardinal Works. Cardinal Works student Brady, and his journey from a mere visitor learning about CRT to active participation in a paid internship, where Brady earns $16 per hour, is a testament to the transformative opportunities that CRT is providing our students. Expanding beyond manufacturing, their internship with our students now extends to social media, which I don't know if you know this, but high school kids love social media, so this is fantastic. Marketing and HR, showcasing their dedication to helping guide the next generation. We extend our gratitude to Component Repair Technologies for their continued support, and we eagerly anticipate the boundless possibilities that lie ahead as we continue the journey towards excellence. At this time, please join me in congratulating Component Repair Technologies.
And we are going to go ahead and have representatives from Component Repair Technologies, that I know you were here, come on up, and we're going to give you the award, take a photo if that's okay. And then also, we even have Brady here today, which is fantastic. So Brady, I don't know where you are, but come on up. These are Facebook posts. These are good ones right here. You're gonna hold that right there. Brady, come on in. Right.
Everybody take 2 steps this way.
You got it.
All right, the other right here. Good. 1, 2, 3. Then one more. Keep looking at me. Done. Well done.
Perfect.
Chris.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. I am very excited to present our next award to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. This partnership has been incredibly meaningful, as together we are working to help families in need and helping to alleviate food insecurity in our community. Thanks to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, we launched our Menor Schools Food Market Program last summer. At these events, which we do with the help of community partners, we distribute thousands of pounds of fresh produce each time, and I'm talking beautiful, healthy produce. It feels like you're walking through the produce section of the grocery store at these events. Now, we knew that this program was going to be well received, but I don't think we quite understood just how well received it would be and in demand. After our first successful markets, the Greater Cleveland Food Bank kept upping the amount of food that they provide us to give. Now, if you haven't seen this in action, I do want to describe it a little bit. We distribute from the stadium, and the line of cars goes all the way down to 615. So we definitely have a need for food assistance in our community, and we are happy to help. In fact, we want to share some numbers with you. At last month's market, we passed the milestone of 100,000 pounds of food distributed. In that one day, we provided healthy produce to 430 households, which served 490 children, 496 adults, 358 senior citizens, and 152 families with children actually in our district. And the running tally since we started this market in last summer is we have provided food assistance for nearly 2,800 households. So it takes a lot of manpower to make this happen, and as you know, sometimes it can be hard to find volunteers, but I'll tell you, not for this. Everyone wants to help. So many students, staff, local organizations. Joe mentioned a lot of the partners during his presentation, and businesses, everybody wants to help. And seeing everyone come together for something so important, it's a win for everyone. And also, the Greater Cleveland Food Bank makes it so easy for us to run these events. They deliver everything, and then our team of volunteers just gets to work. So talk about making an impact. I can't think of a more important initiative than helping folks have access to nutritious foods. None of this is possible without the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. They are a perfect fit for our Impact Award. We are proud of this partnership, and we are very excited for this to continue into the future. So thank you, Greater Cleveland Food Bank, for everything that you do for our community, and not only our community, but the greater Cleveland community as well. So please join me in congratulating the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. Vince Cushman and Jared Kaiser are here to accept the award. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Thanks for your help.
All right, look at me. Good. Done.
We give a round of applause again.
Kind of building off that same activity here. About a year ago, Joe came to me with another one of his harebrained ideas, which he does this often, and said, hey, I've got a great idea to meet the needs of our students. Well, typically when he approaches me about that, it's something academic in nature, and okay, we've been doing this for a while, so between the two of us, looping in Jason Crow with a lot of these things because typically they're high school related as well. Yeah, we can put our brains together and kind of pull something off. This time he started talking about the food insecurity piece to the puzzle. And immediately I was like, okay, this one's gonna be out of my league. I'm not sure how to address this one, but I knew who we needed to reach out to immediately. So I got on the horn with Deanne Dimitro from the United Way of Lake County and said, hey, we've got an idea and we might need some help as far as a partnership goes. And of course she said, absolutely, what is it? Started talking through the process a little bit and said we want to do a food market to meet the food insecurity pieces here in the Mentor schools. So again, about a year ago now, Dion, David, Ginny Vaccaro, Joe Glavin, we all went over to a little charter school in Richmond Heights, I believe, to see how this process worked. And we kind of stood back and watched as they had, I think it was 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000 pounds of produce that was delivered, and watched how they set things up and how they distributed their fresh produce. Of course, it's Mentor, so we never do anything little, and we're like, yeah, okay, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, that's nice. We want 10. So, like, okay, Joe, whatever. So Cleveland Area Food Bank shows up on that first day that we did this in June last year and delivered 10,000 pounds of fresh produce. Again, still trying to work out the details how all this works, but with Deanne Dimitro being there, with David Whitaker, who's one of the logistics gurus there for their organization, was actually there to kind of sweat his butt off as we were going through that first day. We had great partners to be able to pull this thing together. There's no way we would have been able to serve as many people and as much food as we did that Kristen just mentioned here without that great partnership with the United Way of Lake County. We know the connections that they have. We know that they have other food pantries around the area as well, but for them to take time out of their day every month or take time out of their busy schedules every month to come over and help us out, it is absolutely phenomenal. This partnership has grown Again, partnership with the city of Mentor as well. We also partner with Heinz on some of this, and obviously the greater Cleveland Food Bank. But these entities working together to be able to meet one of the basic needs of our community has just been one of the greatest things that I think we've seen done here in quite some time. So with that, our Community Partner Impact Award this year, again, will go to the United Way of Lake County. I would ask Deanne, David, and Zach to please come forward to accept the award.
Thank you.
Okay, right here.
Oh, too far. Good? Everybody clap.
Okay, all right, I'm back up here. I only have like 4 or 5 slides for this last award winner, so it's not 48, so we're good. Last award winner is going to be Lakeland Community College. And so let me just go ahead here. So I took a couple of those. Now, I'll be honest, it's actually really tough to know where to start with this final award winner. It's been a tremendous year for our partnership with Lakeland, and we have expanded in, I would say, almost as many ways as possible in a very short time. I felt that it was appropriate for myself to provide this award almost as an apology for them having to deal with me so much this past year. In a very short period of time, we have made rapid progress and expansion. And I want to kind of go through a couple of these things. So the first one is when we talk about workforce development. And some of the things we're looking at, how can we expand college exposure to our students earlier? And what we did was, when we looked at, said, how can we add CCP, College Credit Plus courses, into our career technical education programs? CCP, CTE, it's like a whole bunch of acronyms. And essentially what we did was, we talked about it. About a year ago, me and Jennifer started kind of putting our heads together on this. And we went through it, figured it out in the fall, and then this January, because again, these aren't things that are 2, 3, 4 years down the road. They're things that we can do now. So we collaborated, we worked with our curriculum department at Mentor, we worked with the departments at Lakeland, and we were able to expand where we now have dual enrollment, CCP, CTE, in the following CTE programs. So we have them in business administration, we have them in healthcare, EMT, manufacturing, construction, and IT. And the result of this has been astounding. So we added, just this January, we added 107 new students of CCP students just from this. And in terms of, while I talk a lot about CTE enrollment, and the 58% is amazing, we are also continuing to hit new highs in college enrollment. And so we actually, in a span of 2 years, we doubled our College Credit Plus student enrollment from 150 to 300 this past spring. And that was in 2 years. One of the strongest parts of this, and I think Dan Solomon's somewhere over here today, he's actually with our kids. So Dan runs the EMT paramedic, EMT over at Lakeland. Really excited, we partnered with Mentor Fire EMT Academy, and we turned that into a dual enrollment college course. So Mr. Craddock became Professor Craddock, and it was fantastic. Our students now have the opportunity to earn 8 college credits in that program, with many of them continuing on for their paramedic, for their Fire 1, Fire 2. One of the other big initiatives that I think, and we'll start to see these results in the fall, where We already are hitting higher numbers than we've had in college enrollment. But the big thing was our Lakeland at Paradigm that we announced at the State of the Schools earlier this year. And with that, it was the idea of how can we make college more accessible for our students? How can we remove barriers so as many of our students can access this opportunity so they can get early college exposure? So this fall, in this very building that we're in right now, Paradigm, there are classrooms in the back on the other side that people don't typically see. And in those, we are going to be offering these courses on campus for our students. We're going to be offering English Comp 1, Comp 2, Basic Economics, College Algebra, Trigonometry, U.S. National Government, Psychology, and Effective Public Speaking. Right on our campus, no transportation requirements, you walk through the hallway. And then also if you guys, on your guys' way out, there is a catalog we have of it that kind of reviews that Lakeland and Paradigm concept for that. And so again, I talk a lot sometimes about Field of Dreams. If you build it, they'll come, right? So last week, Jennifer Collis, Dr. Collis came up here. We had our Lakeland at Paradigm night, so we can talk to people and kind of share with them what we're doing. Help students get registered, help them learn more about those classes. And we ran out of chairs. Literally in this place, it was crazy. I was running around grabbing chairs and throwing. We had at capacity as many people as we could fit to learn about how they can sign their students up to participate in this opportunity. Not just on our campus, which is one avenue. The things that we do, our role is about providing opportunities and options for our families. And so whether it's on our campus at Mentor, whether it's online through their online offerings, or whether it's on Lakeland's campus, which is about 1.5 miles down the road, we have a variety of ways for our students to easily access college courses. And then the last one, we just announced this last week, and already we got the numbers back, and we're good. Numbers are a thing. We're good to roll, so that's positive. We are offering, so to meet, we talk about wait lists. We talk about demand. We know that welding, manufacturing, IT, healthcare, no matter how much we do at Mentor, no one can do this alone. And we need to collaborate to maximize our resources. So working with Dr. Hamilton, who's here today, Jennifer Collis, Laura Barnard, Aaron Fakit, we worked and said, we're doing a lot of things at Mentor and we're aligning, but what else can we do, guys? And they said, let's see how we can do this. So we now are offering for our Mentor students, this is our first cohort that's going to run through. We're running 2 cohorts in the fall of completely CCP welding, so College Credit Plus. It'll be taught by Lakeland faculty on Lakeland's campus in their e-building, which right now is in the process of undergoing a major renovation. It's going to have robotics welding, robotics manufacturing, training our students for the jobs of tomorrow. And so we're really excited for that. In addition, we have a lot of things that we're expanding. I can't even mention all of the partnerships that they've helped us with. Criminal justice, criminal investigation is now CCP. Through Auburn Career Center, we've collaborated and 3 of their programs now have CCP embedded. Riverside Schools, they are truly transformative in the impact that they provide for our students in Northeast Ohio. So at this time, I'd like to congratulate Lakeland Community College for being our Business Partnership Impact Award winner, and come on up. And all of you guys get to come up. We need the Lakeland team to come out, please. Lakeland team.
Vice President Milton.
Hey, that's you.
We're missing step this way, please.
That's right. That's true.
Bring it in. All right, good. Looking right here. Everything looks good.
So, super awesome. Yeah, one thing I would add, a little side note here, just because very excited to have him in attendance today. We are actually joined today by the new president of Lakeland Community College, Dr. Sunil Ahuja. Dr. Ahuja, do you mind giving a wave real quick to everybody? So I'll tell you what, I had a chance last week to spend some time with Dr. Ahuja, and I'm a pretty pumped guy. I get pretty excited in general. I left that meeting so optimistic and excited for the things that we have on our horizon and the future that Lakeland represents for Northeast Ohio. So, really excited. Now, that goes ahead and that will conclude this. I want to thank you guys again for all of your support to Mentor Schools and the opportunities you help provide for our students. And this concludes our 2024 Cardinal Connect Breakfast. And have a great morning.